It is May the 2nd, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is the Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Wreck site in the St.simons Sound. Well, we're back over at the Port of Brunswick today, looking around, doing a little exploring with the drone, and trying to get some video for you guys of what's going on over there. And it was kind of an interesting flight. One thing we noticed today, when we got around Section 7 in that area of the port, we started looking around, and in the staging area here, one of the blue grapple machines that we have seen, we saw both of those units. They now have two in Brunswick, and both of those units were at the southern end of the port in that lot area that they cleaned off, where we think they're going to be doing some processing. But today we noticed there's one back at Section 7, and to us, this means that they've got this thing back in position to probably help with the processing of some of these loose vehicles that are kind of hanging in precarious locations on Section 7 as part of the sea fastening process that they go through before they leave port. We expect to see this unit in conjunction probably with a crane, moving some of these vehicles and loading them on trucks. We've had video of that before. And while we're there, we also look like we could see some braces that have been fabricated here on the crossover dock to the main dock. And then also quite a bit of chain laying on the dock. And so we got a little video of this, and we can see the size of this chain, and this is what they're using to cut the ship into pieces. This big, heavy anchor chain. What we've been told is each one of those links weighs upwards of 70 or 80 pounds just for the individual links. But we saw this going on, and then we kind of looking around back at the barge itself, and we see that they have, it looks like maybe gotten started doing a little cleaning on the barge. It looks like they've got a lot of stuff to probably move around before this thing is deemed ready for that long trip back over to the Gulf of Mexico, over to that processing facility in Gibson, Louisiana. That trip typically takes around 10 days to make it over there from the Port of Brunswick. And it was an interesting day looking at the activities that were going on and the preparation. Looks like they're getting underway for this transport of Section 7. And it usually takes a little while for all these things to get done on the barge before it's ready to go. But it looks like they're well underway. Now also, over in the Port of Brunswick, we saw the barges that we have seen out at the site that they used to pull the cars and some of those loose deck pieces off. They kind of had all these staged to get together in the East River. And we got to fly around and take a look. They had a crew boat there. The Ashton T was there along with the tug. These are the barges that we have seen in place while they were engaged in that weight shedding activity on the sections. We expect to see them back out there, probably working on the rear of the what's left of the Golden Ray after the Section 7 was removed. There's plenty of picking to be done there, and we expect to see these barges back out at the site at some point, doing some more of that activity. It seems like they were really getting good at being able to get some of these vehicles off there. Anytime that they can move any of that debris out off the ship is pretty awesome to us. It just reduces that much more the chance for contamination of the estuary, and anything they can get off is certainly appreciated by me. Glad to see those guys out there getting it done. Here we can see the Kurt J. Crosby tug right at the end of the barge. It almost looks like it's standing guard there, waiting to be able to get the all clear to move this thing out of here and head it over to the Gulf. But the neat thing about this, the sheer size of this piece of the Section 7, it's almost noticeable from anywhere downtown. You can look back to the waterfront. You can kind of see this thing kind of leering over the horizon. It is an impressive sight to see, and we are certainly glad to see it up on the barge. We know that it's not long before it leaves. Now, this is down at the south, that little south area where we expect some of the processing to take place. This is that really big crane barge that they have on site, the Pacific Horizon. And one thing of note here was this hopper barge that was alongside, and we could see that there was some debris down in that hopper barge. So we wanted to take a look at that and kind of see what maybe was on board this hopper barge. And it's it's a mess. You can see all this debris, and it's obvious this is coming off the ship, and this might be some of the loose parts that they've been collecting over the past couple of sections while they were cleaning those up before those sections left to go over to the Gulf. But just a collection of stuff. We see some containers down there that we think these are the containers that were sunk alongside the ship early on in an effort to arrest that listing of the wreck as it began to settle down into the sand up there on that bar, that south bar where it ended up. And we think those containers were part of that operation. It looks like some of those have been recovered, and now they are on the hopper barge. Soon to find the salvage facility, we're sure. Lots of material down on this barge. Not only we see spare parts of cars, bumpers, tires, all that. You actually see a couple of vehicles that look like they were heavily damaged in the cutting process. Right in there, you can see those are actually vehicles there that are in that little cluster. Now the dry dock systems, the two systems they have in Brunswick, they are there. We expect to see the next pieces cut to go on these dry docks. You can see this piece has been installed on the dry dock, this cradle. We think this one is probably going to be for Section 3. And then this one will be for Section 6. That is our best guess right now of what will go on to these dry dock systems as these cuts are made, these future cuts are made off the Golden Ray. Now, out at the site today, we made a quick pass. The Weather Channel is in town. They're promoting an upcoming series, and it's going to include the wreck of the Golden Ray. And they were in town today, kind of promoting that, doing some live shots. We were hoping to have the opportunity to speak with them. We actually talked with them on Friday. Thought we might be able to get them out on the boat because time constraints didn't allow that to happen. Didn't hear from them yesterday. Who knows? They may be back again, and we may be able to host them on the boat. That would be awesome. Get out and take an unofficial look at the wreck. But at the site today, we can see the Caitlin tug was kind of tucked in up underneath the VB 10,000. Not sure exactly what's going on, but you know, the last couple times we have seen a tugboat, one of these tugs underneath there, was transferring fuel to the VB-10,000. And that's been done in the past with the Crosby Star. Maybe the Caitlin's in on it as well, but it was ongoing. We saw the Caitlin underneath there. She was in there for a while, doing whatever they were doing. They had the environmental barrier was closed. That's what really makes us think that they had some refueling activity going on there, because the environmental barrier was closed while the Caitlin was in there. We heard with radio traffic that they were getting ready to move, and they opened the gate and moved the Caitlin out. The process of moving the environmental barrier, it's pretty complicated. You have to have a couple cranes involved. They have to pick up the mooring lines. And one thing we noticed on the mooring line, it looked like some of these lines have been changed. Looks like some new anchor lines have been installed. That might have been a maintenance issue that they dealt with during this downtime. But you can see they picked those lines up with the cranes there. Well, hey, that's it for the report today. We're going to ask you to hit that subscribe button if you hadn't done it. Send us some comments. And most of all, we want you guys to stay safe out there.